Oh,
Lost
it's
Art
playing my
with
intro.
Andrew Cox podcast. Marine Corps League until Valhalla Project Ambassador. Now streaming on all
That's my
major
intro that's
podcast
playing right now. You
platforms.
don't click on it to know.
Thanks for tuning in to the podcast that's
It's
given a
almost
voice
over.
to our veterans. The Lost Art with Andrew Cox.
That's the go to. It's not showing up on yours for whatever reason. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, hey, we're live. All right. Hey, all my listeners out there, we are live. We're at the Oklahoma Marine Corps League convention here. As you can see, all these motivated Marines out here. They're supposed to yell and hoop and holler. Yeah! We're here. We're live. That's how simple it is, right? Man, it's so cool. And this is a great thing is as we're doing this, people are going to do comments. So you're live not only on Facebook right now, but you're live on YouTube right now as well. I can also stream it to TikTok. I can stream it to all these other different services. So I just do the two, but you can stream it to all the other different things. But that's what we're doing. We're here. We're checking it out. I just got a text from Stacy Black. Does everybody know Sergeant Major Black?
We do now. Hi.
Sergeant Major Black, the most senior enlisted individual, Sergeant Major for the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Sergeant Major Black, you know who I'm talking about? Yeah, that's his wife. I just interviewed her the other day. Her podcast posted yesterday, actually. So you could go on the website to watch that. But anyways, Stacy, if you're out there watching, somebody is watching right now. It's probably one of you, but that's okay. Anyway, do you mind holding this?
I don't mind.
So a little bit about me. Retired out of the Marine Corps, 25 years master gunning. Once I retired, right before retirement, I asked, what am I going to do? Right? Because that's the big question. And I was like, I don't want to do anything. That's what I wanted to do. Nothing. But then I started thinking that, I got to do something or I'll drive my wife crazy. So I thought about a podcast. I'd written a book called The Lost Art of Fishing Stories. And I talk about what I consider the lost arts. What are the lost arts? That could be fly fishing. That could be changing a car tire. That could be anything that doesn't get passed to the next generation, right? So that's where I came up. Hey, well, I'll do a podcast about veterans. And so that's what I've been doing since I retired a year ago. I do episodes Monday through Friday. I have 3 veterans that I'll interview, usually about an hour to, I've gone up to 3 hours on a podcast before, but so Monday, Wednesday, Friday is a single individual one-on-one interview. And then Tuesdays, I have a fireside chat with what I call my crew. We talk about veteran topics, those types of things. And then on Thursdays, I do a veteran-owned business, veteran organization, somebody has written a book, something along those lines, but it comes back to veteran community. So I do that 5 times a week. I'm always looking for somebody. So if you're interested, we can set that up. We can do some interviews. I would like to get everybody to do some short clips today because I'm going to try to put some commercials together, which reminds me of another thing. Don't be scared to grab somebody else's stuff and post it on your page. You can steal it.
You tag them.
You can steal. You don't have to tag me. You can just take my stuff and do whatever you want with it. I don't care. It's no big deal. There's somebody in Tennessee. I can't remember his name, Russ. I don't know. Anyway, there's a Marine there, one of the Marine Corps leagues in Tennessee. That dude stole everything that I've got, man. He's like taking it and he's like posting it and he's adding stuff to it and he's doing all kinds of stuff with it. And it's fantastic. I don't mind. And I'm going to continue to make commercials and do things to help push the Marine Corps League. I am the Marine Corps League ambassador now. So, like title, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it. Anyways, so real quick, Facebook is really good for if you're going to do live stream type stuff. For the older folks, that's a really good one because it's easy to do. And also your longer posts. So you do pictures and explanations. That's really good. Instagram is really good for short videos. So by short, I mean less than a minute. That's your about the max you're going to get from the young folks as they're scrolling. X is very similar to Facebook. I don't use it for live platform, although you can. I just don't do that because I'm more familiar with Facebook, but you can do both of them basically the same way. TikTok is literally just a bunch of short clips. Typically, they're going to be anywhere from about 15 seconds to maybe 30 seconds, typically. So ask grandkids what's funny, right? They'll tell you something, or show me something on TikTok that you've been watching. They'll show you something stupid on TikTok, because typically it's going to be something stupid, and that's what's going to entertain. That's what's going to get somebody's attention. So I know as older folks, we don't necessarily like to be goofy all the time and stuff like that. But if we're trying to recruit a younger generation, we're going to have to do something, right? So TikTok is really good right now, just so everybody knows. And YouTube's great for live or like longer videos. Like if you record a meeting, you could do that. So that's another thing you could do. Your detachment meetings, right? There's a lot of the young folks, and because I've done surveys and stuff, and they said, well, the meetings, I can't attend them because I got work, or I got this, and I got my kids, and they can't attend, right? The younger folks. You can go live on your meeting. They can make comments during the meeting, and they could be at home with their kids watching your meeting. You got interaction. You got the young folks coming in and doing stuff. So there are options to be able to get these young guys in. And if you can get the young guys in, they're the guys that know how to do all that stuff. So I'm learning. I'm used to having a Lance Corporal, and I don't have a Lance Corporal now, so it really sucks. But all right. So what do we do here?
Okay.
Interviews? You want to do some interviews?
Okay. So I need James and Mark up here.
You're in trouble.
Okay. So.
We're gonna give you a real short Reader's Digest version of what we do with our radio show.
So, as a producer, I tell them who's going to come on the show. I give them information before the show so they'll know who they're talking to and the questions. We have 3 sets of guests. Fast talkers, they'll talk to you in 10 minutes and we have 30 minutes to fill. Speed talkers who do not let you talk at all, and you just go, okay, goodbye, thank you. Then we have the no-shows. We have people that say, I'll be there, and they don't show up. Or I'll call in, and we can't find them to call in at that very moment, even though I talked to them just recently, and they said they'd be there. So what do I do during that time?
Sometimes we'll get
We'll get
a guest at the
someone.
last second.
Come on up. Come on up.
We'll get someone at the last second. We don't have any paperwork on them or anything.
You don't know what to say, what to do. And what are you usually telling me?
Don't ever do that again. She does.
And then I'm fired.
And she's fired till next week. So we'll come on the air, and there's times we'll interview somebody, and while they're talking, James or I are on our iPhone, and we're looking up who you are, or what business you do, or whatever it is, so we can ask questions and continue with the conversation on the radio show. Sometimes we'll have the information ahead of time, and while we're riding up the elevator, we're going over information, the bio, and the company. So
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're on the air.
And good afternoon, and welcome to another exciting edition of Texas Scuttlebutt Veterans Connection. This is Mark along with
James.
And this afternoon we have
Glenn Marshall.
Glenn. Welcome to the show. And Glenn, you are with.
What just happened?
What do you have for you? I'm with Indian Texas 438,
McAllister, Oklahoma. And where's McAllister for those folks in Asia that doesn't know right where McAllister?
It's in God's country in the southeast.
Oh, that's one of the better
North
parts.
Texas. North Texas.
North Texas. There you go. A little back and forth there. So, what did you do in the Marine Corps?
I was the last corporal. I was in food service.
All right, Lance Corporal, back on the Corps. When did you enlist?
I enlisted in 1970.
1970. All right. Did you go to Vietnam or?
No,
Good. What did you? Just that's all you did in food service? Where were you stationed?
I was stationed at Camp Pendleton, Camp
The land that God forgot. So how long were you in the Corps?
For 3 years.
3 years. And after the Corps?
Got out.
That's a great answer. Did you continue in the food industry?
No,
Or?
I did not. I went into business.
business management.
And then I went into the oil.
What oil companies did you work for?
I worked for Marshall Pumping Station.
Okay.
As
So,
a owner operator.
oh, okay.
And I worked for Newfield Exploration, which is a Texas.
Good choice there. Yeah, my wife went 40 years in the oil field, so y'all can have a good talk. She's out tasting wine right now with all the other spouses from Oklahoma. So you've been pretty much in the oil field most of your life?
Big part of it.
Aren't we all? Pretty good. So did you retire, or were you affected by just the downsizing?
No, I actually retired. I actually retired at 25 years. 15 of it self-employed. And then 10 years, I was 10 years in Newfield Exploration. And during that time,
Many veterans work for you?
a lot, yeah. I had a tour come up from Houston, helicopter pilot, through the executive coach. And top of the helicopter pilot come up off the ground, put it on his nose and went on his nose for about 300 yards. And I asked him, I said, man, were you in the military? And he said, yes. And I said, what branch? He said, I was in the Marines.
Oh, yeah. We fly Southwest a lot. You can always tell the difference between a Navy Southwest pilot and the Air Force. Air Force pilot lands Southwest, it's a real soft landing. But if it's a Navy Marine Corps, they think they're landing on a carrier. They go, pow, onto the deck down the runway.
What made you come into the Marine Corps? What made me come in? Well, it's long.
What changed your mind?
I had,
Judge Walton.
I had actually went up to the draft board and checked on my number, and I was getting there. So I decided they're not gonna tell me what to do.
Oh,
So I joined the Corps, me and two other guys.
You showed them.
Yeah.
So,
Glenn Marshall.
Glenn, we thank you for being on the show this afternoon. And this is Mark.
along with James
Keep your weapon clean.
and the powder dry.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
And that's a real quick version of
Well, I found someone else.
Oh, good. Another big one.
Good.
Good.
If you want to do it.
We got a little bit more time, so we'll just play.
Mr. Bearden by itself.
I went to SWAT detachment out of Tulsa.
And when did you join the Corps?
I joined the Corps back in 1984.
1984. Okay. When I got out, we called them Space Marines. Space Cadets. What did you do? What did you do in the Corps?
I was a 2111 armor, and I was also a 2141, a P7 mechanic as well.
What?
P7 Amtrak.
Oh, Amtrak.
Amtrak.
Okay, that changes.
Yeah. You ain't track, you ain't yet.
That's right.
Right. But where'd you go to boot camp?
Went to San Diego, so I'm a Hollywood Marine.
All right.
Right.
Everybody knows Marcy's trained in Parasite.
Yeah, well, y'all just had sand fleas.
That's right.
We had mountains.
That's true.
And one mountain was up.
How long were you in the Corps?
I did 9 years. I was active for 7, and in the reserves for 2.
And then after the Corps, you did.
I actually worked for the federal government. I worked for my old staff sergeant. He hired me to work for him at the Marine base, and I built weapons for the Marine Corps and the Army. And then after that, I resigned and I became a teacher.
Okay. And what'd you teach?
I taught everything from 2nd grade up to 8th grade. Before I left California, I did 8th grade history and high school cadets. They found out I was a Marine, so they asked me to bring in this program, as an Army program. So I said I did it for the kids, So so I had to switch over to Army for that program, and then I retired as a teacher out of California along with my wife, and we moved here to Oklahoma. She's from Oklahoma, and now I finished up my last year of teaching.
Glad you got to come to North Texas.
I appreciate it.
Well, Marcos, thank you for coming aboard this afternoon. This is Mark, along with
James,
Keep Your Weapon Clean.
powder dry.
Hoorah.
Well, we got one more.
Oh!
Maybe just one. We'll see. We'll watch the
Oh,
time.
okay.
Ricky has a guest.
Right. And welcome again to Texas Scuttlebutt, Veterans Connections. This is Mark.
Along with James.
And this afternoon we have.
Chris Tadlock.
Chris Tadlock, and his partner,
Duck,
Doc. And Doc is
my service dog.
your service dog. When did you join the Corps?
2000.
2000. So you went over to Iraq, Afghanistan?
06 in Iraq.
And what did you do in the Corps?
I was postal clerk.
Postal.
161.
We'll call. Right.
Yep, I was even best friend of yours standing there. Right. You got that dear job there, everybody was good.
Yeah, I got one.
Nobody liked it.
It's bad news.
Yep,
So how long were you in the Corps?
12 years.
12 years, and then after the Corps, you did
IT.
IT.
Yep.
But you just
I did 1 year or 2 years for a home health service, and then 1 year for a truck driving place, and then I went out to the base and did 2.5 years out there.
and then your dog's name again?
Doc,
Doc. And Doc helps you with.
PTSD and mobility.
Okay. Okay. He picks up on anything that should happen, or let you know before something happens. Okay.
Sometimes. Paying
You
attention.
don't pay to feed him. You don't.
That's right. And a treat here or there.
What have you done lately? With are you retired, or are you still?
I've been retired since 2017.
Okay. So y'all just travel the country and.
Yep, he's working.
But we thank you for being on today.
Thank
But thank you for being on the show. This is Mark.
Along the game,
Keep your weapons clean.
and without a drive.
Hoorah.
Right.
Thanks, sir.
One more and then we'll close it.
One more.
Yeah.
Welcome again to another exciting, exhilarating, sitting on the edge of your seat, Texas Scuttlebutt Veterans Connection. This is Mark,
Along the game,
and this afternoon we have Tammy Summers
Yes, sir.
with the
1149 Marine Corps League.
detachment name. Just make
Oh, no, she's with
Picture
one.
Hannah.
Yeah.
You gotta ask her husband.
Yeah.
When did you join the Marines?
1996.
And what did you do?
I was an 1149, which is a glorified secretary. Technically, it's an S3 position. I did all of your training. I did your rifle call. I'm the one that sent you to the gas chambers. But I also did flight following and flight planning, which they kicked me out of that when I lost control of aircraft.
They're still lost today.
No, I'm dyslexic and I didn't know it going in, and I would reverse numbers. So they would be calling down shooter 01 arrived at 1245, and I would be writing down shooter 0 instead of 1. I'd be writing down a 10, and I'd be like, we don't have this one. So
Where were
yeah.
you stationed?
We shut down Tustin and El Toro when they closed those bases and moved us to Maryland.
I know you went to boot camp. So.
Yes, Paris Island.
Right. So then after you got out of the Corps, you did.
I tried to be a stay-at-home mom, but unfortunately my husband was disabled and was not able to work. So I went to work. I worked at a grocery store. Right now I work for the state of Arkansas on tourism.
Right. I saw someone that looked an awful lot like you at
Yes.
tourist. What's that? I-20.
Yeah,
Coming
I-30.
I-30 coming into Arkansas.
Right there on the I-30 in Texarkana.
Walking out of the head, and I know you.
Exactly.
But, well, we thank you for coming on. How long you been with the Marine Corps League?
Oh, about 4 years now. 4 years.
How did you find out about the Marine Corps League?
Actually, one of my coworkers, we have a booth at the fair, and this David Teague walked up to her. And if any of y'all know David Teague, how he is, she's like, "Yeah, one of my coworkers is a Marine." And the next thing I know, here comes this little old band coming up. How would you like to join the league? And so I'm like, well, let me check it out. We ended up going to a meeting, and me and my husband both joined.
So y'all been in the detachment since both joined together?
Yes, sir.
Good, good. Well, we thank you for coming on this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
It's still morning.
Yes.
When it airs, it'll be in the afternoon. But this is Mark.
along the game,
Keep your weapons clean.
without a drive.
You're up.
You're up.
This is nice.
Do you mind if I close
we had
this?
Tammy on, she would usually send us a bio or something about her business,
Yeah,
you know, working for the Department of for the state of Arkansas. So she would send us information, and then we would use that information, and James and I would kind of go back and forth and let her speak. We have had guests on. It's like they spoke from the time the mic went hot until we were like over the 30 minutes, and then Steve, our engineer, had to, time it all up to 30 minutes, and some just take off talking, and you just sit there and listen. And then just one. And we've had some where we've kind of had to pull the information out of them because they're not used to public speaking. If you knew me about 10, 15 years ago, this was not my forte, public speaking. Being in the fire service, I learned how to get in front of people and speak. And this is the first public speaking I've done in about 5 years. So once I get going, But
the whole purpose of this is to let you know that you can recruit radio, podcasting, posting. It's very vital for the Marine Corps League to succeed, but also your stories are very important to society. You heard your stories within the service. It inspires our next generation.
Right.
And I do believe our podcaster here wants to close out.
Yeah, my arm's getting tired. Y'all mind if I close this real quick? Hey, thanks for being on the podcast today. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, all right. Yeah. All right, to all the listeners out there, if you're struggling, need help, anything like that, don't forget the VA has some great resources. You can always dial 988, press option 1. You can always text 838-255, or you can go to veteranscrisisline.net and click on the chat icon. Any of those options put you in contact with somebody that can help you out. But remember, one veteran life loss is one too many. I care about you. I know all these devil dogs here care about you. So please reach out for help. And if you're out there and not struggling, reach out to the buddies you serve with. Ask them how they're doing. If they need a helping hand, please give it to them. All right. Thanks again. Stay motivated. Change your socks.
Make a